possible, right? So you say, well, 5 minutes. You say 10 minutes. Even though that's not true, and it's the country, and most people would accept, well, they were outside playing, and I hadn't seen them for an hour. But you want to sound as good as possible, and maybe you say things that are true to try to keep your other children safe, or for being taken the next day, and maybe you also tell law enforcement that's the only child there, because you have hope they're going to find your kid in 10 or 15 minutes, and everything's going to be over, but it's not over, and your child's still missing, and oh shit, now you're walked into a time.
Yep.
Well, I heard them, and I heard things from them, like, as I was getting in the creek, I heard Candace and them come back and circle around at each other at the top of their hill. And I heard them talk and, talk whatever to each other. And then, as I get around to the main thoroughfare, like Beach Creek Road itself, I start seeing them at a certain point to the left towards Simpson Road. Not Simpson Loop, but Simpson Road. Back towards the creek, and they're kind of squatted down playing near the fence line that separates back there in the field. But I continued looking until I made my way to them. They weren't really paying attention. They were playing with something, and then when I finally got to them, they kind of jumped up, started on us, like, hey guys, and, I was like, I asked some questions, like, when have you seen your sister last? How long? And, this part of what I'm not really saying out loud to, the public, because I think it's important. But I continued looking until I made my way to them. They weren't really paying attention. They were playing with something, and then when I finally got to them, they kind of jumped up, started on us, like, hey guys, and, I was like, I asked some questions, like, when have you seen your sister last? How long? And, this part of what I'm not really saying out loud to, the public, because I think it's important. But I continued looking until I made my way to them. They weren't really paying attention. They were playing with something, and then when I finally got to them,
I asked them, where the last place they saw Summer was. But what I was told was that the last place they seen Summer was at the swing set. 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 And I was like, and then I asked how long that had been. And I get told 5-10 minutes. I immediately know that time's a lot, but like, well, they're kids, and how time travel is different for children, right? So, pay no mind, but I do take the location seriously. But because they seem pretty well firm on theirs, as opposed to Candace, who doesn't. It's so vague with her that. And the one part that felt different when I was talking to her, where I just was like, whatever, she didn't have eyes on her at all, or something,
What part, can I ask? I mean, we're here talking
as
about
far as like what the boys said to me in the last place, they saw Summer and how long it had been. That's something I think is just like for cops to know,
Yeah, okay. Well,
so I'd rather keep it from public consumption.
Yep. Okay, keep it quiet. Yep. Totally agree.
And
I did hear the boys were playing hide and seek. Is that true?
No, like when they were playing like you would, like they're spotted down at the creek there, and they were just playing like in the water, like they were looking at something having a name or, and it's pretty shallow. I mean, at that point where it had been dammed up, it was just like a little trickle, it wasn't all deep at that spot. And so they were just kind of squatting down. I don't know that they were taking it seriously. They're a bunch of kids. They think, it'll be alright type of thing. That's the way I took it, and their mannerisms and stuff. just being kids. But when I come there, like, adults, we were supposed to be looking, and yeah, and the oldest looked at me, and I mean, me and the oldest know each other a bit, like through years. And I was like, I asked him, he was the spokesman for the little group, and they had that look like, oh man, we've got to march back to the house. We're going to get told on, probably going to be in trouble type of, I was like, because they're acting a little weird. I thought, man, they think I'm going to tell their mama, and they're going to be in deep crap for playing instead of looking for summer.
Welcome back, all my friends and viewers. Tonight, I'm looking at a video from Squall Tip. And as I look at here, let's read this. It says, we just moved there about 7 months ago and live one house down from them. Search crews and deputies have been on our land pretty much every day and have been keeping us updated on what they are seeing in our neighborhood as far as evidence. There is physical evidence that she was in the woods by my house and in my neighbor's yard after she went missing. Excuse me? There is physical evidence that she was in the woods by my house and in my neighbor's yard after she went missing. Okay. First of all, I need to know, has this been vetted? Second of all, where's this neighbor at? Has this been mentioned before? There's physical evidence that she was in the woods at someone's house after she went missing?
They had come when I was going towards the creek to get in, and after I heard them talk to Candace that last time, they went down, you're staring directly, face on it, Candace's mailbox and stuff. They went downhill to the left and towards the creek that way, towards Simpson. So where they were at, everything made sense. But no, when I come across them, they weren't playing hide and seek. They were playing in the water, like all squatted down in a little row, chin sort of almost touching knees, really enamored looking at something, and I interrupted them. They went right back to themselves and back towards, the house.
But we have to take into account, till law enforcement verifies anything, it's all hearsay till they confirm or deny. But on that note, I can also tell you that people have went out and talked to the property owner and looked at it and verified stuff. But we're just giving you what the information, as we've said from the beginning, is from the property owner and so forth and so on. So bear with me just a second, and I'm waiting for something to be emailed over to me, and I'll be able to show it to you. I worked on this. We kind of threw this together. We've had all this information, but I wanted to do it in a safe way that I'm not putting out somebody else's against their wishes, putting out their location. So I'm going to give you a general roundabout area, not exactly on the location, because they asked that their location not be shared. So I respect their wishes, and will only show a general area and the direction that we feel, in our opinion, that we feel direction of travel is. On another channel stream, they said that somebody had debunked it. I don't see how you can debunk something when we know that people have been out who are licensed and went and talked to property owners and looked at and seen and exactly what they were talking about. We are going on what the property owner has disclosed and made public. Again, these were not anything new. This came out the first week of the search for Summer West, the first few days. And we've had to go over. People are thinking this is all brand new stuff. No, this is from the beginning. No, law enforcement hasn't debunked anything. Thank you for saying that, Reluctant Healer. Law enforcement hasn't said anything about it. So we're going on public information. What I can say is where their search areas were this past these past 2 days that they did their searches, they were right there on that whole area. That's where they were at. That's what they were doing. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that's all right. We'll allow people to say what they want. That's their own prerogative. But we're going to show you what we have and what we've been working on and what we feel like from working with the people. That is very crucial that you take this into account. But again, this is hearsay evidence till law enforcement either confirms or denies what our theory is. And not theory, but say it how I should. It is till it's verified. That's what it is.
We're just going off of what property owners have said and
public information.
Yeah.
So that's all you can do unless you have inside information and you're in law enforcement in the know with them, and they're not releasing anything. And so we will go on what we have, and we can say that we've been out and talked to property owners. We've talked to people that have told us exactly.
We've talked to people who, I don't know how to say that.
What? Explain to me what you're trying to say. Well, type it out at least. That's fine. We'll say what you're going to say. You spoke to people who do have knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. All right, here. So let me go in here and zoom in, and we'll get started on this. So here we go. So this here.
So by public information, we mean by the property owners. One of them has come out. He posted things on a Facebook group. He posted everything about the footprints. We've shown you guys a couple of the things that he has posted.
Well, we showed you quite a few things. I've showed you every screenshot that we have.
That we can find now, yeah.
Yeah, that we can find because he deleted everything.
Yeah, his whole family ended up getting doxxed, and it was a bad situation for him, so he just deleted everything that he had posted, every comment.
He came out, spoke about it, then he would go even further and say, deputies told me if I'm going to speak about it to be very precise about it and to share everything that was said. And we showed you guys. If you've been following us, you know about this. If you haven't, I'm sorry. I try to brush you up on it. You might have to go back and check out those streams. Let's see. Okay, cool. All right, so this right here, this top one, if you can see my mouse, can you see it on there?
Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, so right here at the top, this is Summer's house, right here.
110 Ben Hill Road.
This is 110 Ben Hill Road, right here.
We're not going to give any kind of addresses to anywhere
at
else.
all.
But
so
that's a good starting point. 110 Ben Hill Road.
Yeah. All right. We know that the prints, what we think, in the direction we're traveling, west southwest. Okay. So in this area, we're going to go use. Let's say we're going to use Beach Creek Road right here as our line. In this area here,
sorry guys,
these footprints were found behind ridges on property in a direct line of travel. So we'll follow down through here. I can't mark exactly where they were because it's not, this is a general area of multiple landowners.
Multiple properties here that we're covering, but this would be the general direction of travel.
So we'll use, like I said, Beach Creek Road as a general direction of travel, going this way. Here in this general area, in this mapping area here, that she and it's a path that I would feel comfortable saying was traveled through these woods, cross roads, back in this way, until, our farthest point would be here. Let's see where Mount...
As I get around to the main thoroughfare, like Beach Creek Road itself, I I start seeing them at a certain point to the left towards Simpson Road. Not Simpson Loop, but Simpson Road. They're back towards the creek, and they're kind of squatted down playing near the fence line that separates back there in the field. But I continued to look at them until I made my way to them. They weren't really paying attention. They were playing with something, and then when I finally got to them, they kind of jumped up and started on us like, "Hey guys," and I was like, I asked them questions like, when have you seen your sister last? What, this, how long? And, this part of what I'm not really saying out loud that, the public, because I think it's important. But I continued to look at them until I made my way to them. They weren't really paying attention. They were playing with something. And then when I finally got to them, they kind of jumped up and started on us like, "Hey guys," and I was like, I asked some questions like, when have you seen your sister last? What, this, how long? And this part of what I'm not really saying out loud that the public, because I think it's important. But I continued to look at them until I made my way to them. They weren't really paying attention. They were playing with something, and then when I finally got to them, they had come when I was going towards the creek to get in, and after I heard them talk to Candace that last time, they went down to your staring directly, face on it, Candace's mailbox and stuff. They went downhill to the left and towards the creek that way, towards Simpson. So where they were at, everything made sense. But no, when I come across them, they weren't playing hide and seek. They were playing in the water, like all squatted down in a little row. Chin sort of almost touching knees, really enamored looking at something, and I interrupted them. But they went right back to the motel and back towards the house. That's where